There was a guy from B.I. he used to call Toledo. He met this young Leamington Ontario tomato.
Stompin Tom Connors is one of Canada's national treasures, but getting there hasn't been easy. His black boots, famous for keeping time to his music, have traveled a long way from his childhood in Skinner's Pond, Prince Edward Island. He has crisscrossed the nation, entertaining audiences from stages big and small, immortalizing their stories in songs. But his life story has remained a mystery until now. The National's Laurie Brown caught up with Stompin Tom to talk about his unsung story.
It's a special Saturday night in Toronto.
And the girls have left the bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We think no more of bingo on a Sudbury Saturday night.
Stompin Tom Connors makes a rare appearance. He's releasing his 39th album. And while the music brings people to their feet, eager to have a good time, the book tells a different story. Before the Fame, an autobiography of the first 30 years of his life, is a tragic tale. It's a story he's kept under his hat until now.
Yeah, the girls have left the bingo and the boys are getting stinko. We think no more of bingo on a Sudbury Saturday night.
Everybody up until now has always asked me, how many heels do you wear out of your left boot? How many hats do you have? And do you have any more vests than that one black one? Or, you know, these questions that when you're going on tour next or all this. Well, those are all questions they want to know about Stompin Tom. Nobody's ever wanted to know, who the hell is Tom Connors?
Tom Connors was born in 1936 in St. John, New Brunswick. His father was gone, his mother broke. From the time he was 4, Tom was left outdoors alone each day to fend for himself. It's a devastating tale of abuse and poverty.
I was very affected when I read this book because it was a picture of poverty in this country that I didn't know anything about.
But even those who do know about it don't like to talk about it. That's why I haven't talked about it for years. Because, you know, you don't want to be a downer at a party. You don't want to tell people stuff about that. They don't want to hear that.
The most traumatic event Tom writes about in his book happened when he was 8 years old. It was the day the police and the Children's Aid Society caught up with his mother for stealing groceries to feed Tom and his sister. He was literally torn from his mother's arms. They wouldn't be together again for 11 years.
And they had a detention room there, and they just sort of threw me in there and locked the door for the rest of the night. So there I was. I didn't know where they took my mother, where they took my baby sister. And when I think about it today, I'd like to be standing somewhere where a cop took a child away from his mother.
Tom spent the next year in orphanages in New Brunswick. The treatment he received there was far more physically abusive than anything his mother had subjected him to. At 9, he was sent to a foster home in Skinner's Pond, PEI. At 13, he ran away and began a lifelong search for a mother, a home, some self-esteem. What he found was his country.
C-A-N-A-D-A. Have you ever seen a magnetic hill? C-A-N-A-D-A. Or a lady on a dollar bill? C-A-N-A-D-A. Bet you never seen the autumn fall.
Because I had such a bad younger life, I never had a place I could call home. I had this wanderlust to look for something, look for a better place. I wanted to see other places. I wanted to see what people were all about. And I think this is where my strong Canadian nationalism comes from, because I found nice people here, nice people there, all over the place, and nice people back home as well. And then I guess Canada became an extended family to me. That became my family.
Just take a little piece of PEI, old Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Quebec and Newfoundland, Alberta and Manitoba, Ontario, NBC, and you'll have found the stomping grounds of all my friends and me.
Tom includes songs from every region on every record, and from the years he spent drifting across this country, most of the 50s and 60s, he's seen a lot of it. Sleeping in barns or jails or a snow pile by the side of the highway, he often took shelter during the day in public libraries. That's where he got his education.
So, started out by, reading funny books or something. But then I thought, well, hey, what's everybody else doing around here? Looks like they're serious. They got these big, thick books. What the hell are they reading? So I thought, before somebody centers me out and throws me back out in the cold with no place to go, maybe I better start digging out one of these big books and see what's in there. So I started checking the books. Before I knew it, I was reading philosophy, reading psychology, comparative religions, and a lot of deep stuff.
There was plenty of time to think about what he had read and time to think about his own situation.
When you're put in a position, not through your own fault, as I was, and the way I grew up, and the hardships, the hard knocks, and the whole thing, you begin to feel as if, well, you're worthless because you're unwanted, and as you travel the roads, you have a lot of time to think about this because you're alone, winter and summer. And of course, the only one you can talk to is yourself and to your God. And so you wonder, well, is there any hope anywhere for me? Is there a niche for me somewhere? Is there a spot? Is there something? And the only time that I was wanted, it seemed, is when I was playing the guitar and singing songs.
Hey, are you Stompin Tom?
Frank Mahovlich.
You are Stompin Tom. Come on, sing us a song then.
I just happened to be writing a new one called Margot's Cargo.
Reggie's got the rig. Reggie's got the rig. Margot's got the cargo by, and Reggie's got the rig.
But the sadness in his past never shows up in the music. In fact, some songs go a long way in the other direction. They're just plain fun. Tom likes to play the clown, that's for sure. He's called the blue-collar superstar. He may be a Canadian hero, but he knows what it's like to be down. He's seen his share of prejudice, and prejudice of any kind against anybody is something Tom won't tolerate.
Reggie got the rig. Margot brought the cargo by, and Reggie brought the rig.
When somebody is trying to browbeat or downtrod somebody else, or to take an aloof attitude toward somebody or all this, I spot those things immediately. And I guess, I've almost got an animal sense of that because it's been sort of drilled right into me.
And it seems to be drilled right into you that being poor is being a crime. It seems like people treat you like you're a criminal if you're poor.
They don't mean to, but that's the way our society seems to be structured. Those who have get more. Those who have not, it seems to be what you own and how you're dressed and this kind of thing, which determines your acceptance, how much you're accepted.
This book is very much about looking for acceptance, finding out where you fit in the world, and Tom has dedicated it to orphans everywhere. He also dedicated it to the black-haired lady with no thumb, the only memory he had of his mother until 1955, when he finally tracked her down in Montreal.
Well, from my perspective, I was trying to find, really, the mother that I had once known as a child. I wondered if we could get it back somehow, But when you're separated by worlds for so long, that family, that hugging that goes on in families that I've seen thousands and thousands of times, I couldn't do that. Today, I have a hard time when my wife's family comes to visit. She immediately, hugs her family, and they hug one another, sisters and brothers and all this, and it's very close, it's warm. I can't do that. I feel uptight when somebody wants to hug me or get close to me. Something inside of me, I want to draw back. I can't get close to a person like that.
You're a father. You've got a 19-year-old son. Tell me how your experiences from your childhood, how did you feel when you became a father? How did you look at fatherhood?
Well, I've always had some difficulties about that. And it comes to the hugging thing, and I was always, I feel, a minute too late, because I had to figure out first what would a father do in this situation in order to react to what the child is doing. And just when you're ready to go to them and say, well, I understand the situation or this and that, it's too late. But what I do today, as often as I can and have done all through the years, is talk to my son and have a talk back and forth to keep a communication going, and ask him what his feelings are, and if, how I feel about him, how he feels about me, and all this kind of stuff, because it's a learning process for me as much as it is for him.
What are you most proud of, Tom, the things that you've done and the things that you've accomplished?
I don't think I have a proud bone in my body when it comes to pride of self. No, I'm not proud of myself. I guess if there was anything that I could be proud of, is when somebody writes me a letter and says, your music has done so much for me, then that gives me a real sense of worth, that I have been instrumental in some way to uplift somebody who may have been down.
There's a pretty girl, but just like me, she's as tired as can be. She's a waitress in this all-night cafe.
Really, that's what I'm trying to do for Canadians. I'm trying to uplift my country. I'm trying to sing about it. I'm trying to make the young people realize that we have something to sing about.
Coming along to these all-night cafe blues.
If anybody looks up to me, it's not me they should look up to. It's the song. I am the song.
And this country is your home.
That's right.
That's a big home.
I got a lot of places to go and a lot of things to do. It'll take me forever. I hope I have 165,000 more incarnations right in this country. I haven't seen it all yet, although I've been practically every town and walked over every blade of grass. But I want to do it all again.
Hitchhiking?
Sure. Why not?
Good for you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Two women of the night, old jukebox wine, these all-night cafe blues.
For The National, I'm Laurie Brown.
I've got these all-night cafe blues.
And that's our magazine for this evening. I'll see you again tomorrow.